Hello, my name's Kira and we are the Blue Group. For our case study, we analyzed POM Wonderful, Crazy Healthy. This case focused on the misleading marketing of both POM Wonderful and the Coca-Cola companies. POM Wonderful is known for its pomegranate juices and their marketing of its health benefits. POM claimed to reduce chances for disease for those consumers who drank their juices. Their entire advertising campaign uses health food claims to significantly promote their products. Therefore, they can position their product as a premium and price it higher. Since POM Wonderful had secured their spot as the premier brand on the pomegranate juice market, they began to become protective and aware of other brands trying to challenge their position. POM Wonderful had their eye on Coca-Cola because of their rival product, Minute Maid Pomegranate Blueberry Flavored Blend. Coca-Cola was promoting their new product as a pomegranate juice, but the juice was made up of 99.4% of apple or grape juices. POM Wonderful believed this was deceptive and filed the lawsuit against Coca-Cola because their misleading information was costing them sales. In 2010, POM Wonderful was sent a warning letter by the FDA. They were told that if they are making claims that pomegranate ingredients could combat ED, prostate cancer, LDL cholesterol, and promote healthy hearts, they had to prove it through scientific evidence and testing. POM was making unproven claims and had no scientific evidence to back up their advertising to the consumer. Both companies misled the consumer in different ways. I'm now going to pass to Will, who's going to be discussing the ethical questions that arise from this case.
Thank you, Kira. So our first ethical issue is it ethical for food companies to have misleading labels? Next slide, please. This is referring to companies such as POM Wonderful and Coca-Cola making all these claims about their drinks, despite many of them not being true or they're not proven. Coca-Cola introduced their own pomegranate juice to compete with POM Wonderful, but it actually contained 99.4% apple and grape juices. This led to POM Wonderful suing Coca-Cola for false advertising because of the misleading labels. Following this lawsuit, POM Wonderful was sued by the FTC for false advertising as well. This was because POM Wonderful was making crazy claims that their pomegranate juice helped prevent erectile dysfunction, prostate cancer, LDL cholesterol. It could help with severe and lengthy colds, as well as promote a healthy heart and prostate. While this may be true considering how healthy pomegranates are, POM Wonderful never proved that these claims were true. Next slide, please. Why do companies do this anyway? It seems pretty clear they think that the more positive effects their product has, the more likely it is for people to buy it. In POM Wonderful's case, they listed all of these unproven health benefits, and because of that, people bought their product more. If the company had actually put their drink through clinical trials and they put on their label somewhere that all of the health benefits were backed by clinical trials, then their label would not have been misleading. Since they did not, they technically lied to their consumers. Next slide, please. So it is not ethical for food companies to have misleading labels. It is important for consumers to know what it is that they are consuming. Companies should always list what exactly is in their product, as well as if their product is healthy or not healthy to consume. And I'm now going to pass this over to Fatima, who's going to talk about our second ethical issue.
Thank you, Will. The next obvious ethical issue is whether or not food companies should have to substantiate all of their promotional claims with relevant data. The food industry has obviously become increasingly complex. Taglines like organic, heart healthy, and free range can often just be exaggerated claims or puffery. And increasingly, people feel that more stringent consumer protection is needed. There is a case to be made for temperance when it comes to federal intervention in the free market. Clearly, this would really hamper the advertising industry. In theory, it may seem ideal to say that advertisers are not able to say anything that isn't objectively true, but most advertisement is subjective. Claims about taste, quality, appearance are all opinion-based. If advertisers were not allowed at least some creative license in this respect, they wouldn't be able to say anything besides a strict physical description of their product. However, evolving public opinion demands more transparency in how products in the food and drug industry are marketed. In recent years, countless companies have been sued, fined, or else forced to change their marketing by the FTC. For example, the Wrigley Company had to pay a $7 million settlement when it was disproven that their Eclipse gum killed germs that caused bad breath. It's dangerous for advertisers to make wild and unsubstantiated proclamations such as these. Consumers tend to take advertising at face value, and they make many important decisions about their health without researching the viability of these advertisements. The most dramatic example of this is how cigarettes have gone from being heavily promoted with false claims to modern day packaging, which now includes graphic warnings. I'm now going to be moving on to our first case question. Is there any difference between the potential deception between Coca-Cola's advertisers and POM Wonderful's advertising? Coca-Cola and POM Wonderful both advertise their products deceptively. Coca-Cola's Minute Maid pomegranate blueberry juice was exposed to be mostly comprised of apple and grape juice. Obviously, Coca-Cola was aware that their product contained almost a negligible amount of pomegranate in it, so they were making blatantly false claims about the ingredients in their product. It's a fairly common practice in the industry to supplement with apple and grape juices because they're cheaper to produce. Therefore, it stands to reason that Coca-Cola was attempting to pass off one of their typical juice blends as a bountiful source of pomegranate, only to piggyback off of the public perception of health benefits that POM Wonderful had established. POM Wonderful, on the other hand, made extraordinary claims about the potential benefits of their products. While it's true that their products contain plenty of healthy nutrients such as antioxidants, the company dreamed up unsubstantiated benefits. POM Wonderful was not knowingly promoting a falsehood like Coca-Cola, but they did make their claims without proof or human clinical trials. Now I will be passing over to John, who's going to discuss the remaining case questions.
Thanks, Fatima. The second question at the end of this case was, why does the FTC want food and supplement makers' claims about the health impact of their products to be substantiated with clinical trials? The Federal Trade Commission's primary goal is to crack down on these manufacturers that make misleading claims upon which consumers depend. Essentially, the FTC wants to hold these manufacturers more accountable for the protection of consumers. In this particular case, the FTC needed to ensure that there was a substantiated evidence from 2 randomized and controlled clinical trials that POM Wonderful genuinely provided all of these health benefits. This is so that consumers are not being taken advantage of when they believe that drinking this particular pomegranate juice brand will lower their risk of certain serious health conditions such as heart disease, ED, and prostate cancer, among several others. Moving on to the third and final question at the end of the case. Do you feel that POM Wonderful, a product with known health attributes, should be subjected to the same scrutiny as drug companies if it wants to make health claims about its product? And we decided that yes, the company should be subjected to the same scrutiny as drug companies if it wants to make health claims about its product. The claims that were made by POM Wonderful were bold ones, especially this one right here. POM Wonderful juice could aid in the curing, mitigation, treatment, or prevention of disease. Individuals who are suffering from any or all of these particular health issues may interpret this statement to drink this brand of pomegranate juice as a supplemental treatment or an alternative treatment to whatever health issues they may be battling. In reality, POM Wonderful pomegranate juice has not been clinically proven to help with any of this. Without facing this scrutiny, consumers of POM Wonderful may put their well-being at risk because they honestly believe that this brand's juice is helping them lead a healthier life and treating serious medical ailments. I'll now hand it over to Will to wrap up with some final thoughts regarding the case.
Thank you, John. So in the end, POM Wonderful's false advertising, as well as Coca-Cola's, has led to many changes in the food and beverage industry. Companies now need to show proof before they say that their product contains a ton of health benefits. And what POM Wonderful did was not an extreme case of unethical behavior, since pomegranates are already very healthy, but the FTC does need to keep everyone in check. Thank you.